Hi and welcome back to the next video. This is video 24 and here we are dealing with simple uploading an image for our blog entries and returning like a complete object where this image is stored. And here we are doing it a bit different to where we uploaded a profile image. There we added it directly to our user profile, and here we are just uploading this, and then to add it to a blog entry you would have to make another request. So then we can go shortly to our video structure. This is, as always, first we have a look at our video outcome, then we will write a user story for this, or read the user story for this, and then we implement the user story and close it. So let's have a short look what we are building in this video here. So you see we have two new endpoints, one post endpoint where we can upload an image for our blog entries. So you need to provide a JWT, and then you can add just your image here, select the image, upload it, and then you get in return an object from Malte where you have all the things specified, like the file name, the original name, the field name, and then you can make a GET request if you have this file name here. We have a new add-GET endpoint. You can provide this name here as a parameter and add this. And what we are doing here not with the user profile, you remember, if you upload their image, it's directly added to the user from the JWT. We provided the JWT, we add there for this user the image. But here we are just returning like this file, where it lays, where it is stored now. And then to add this to a blog entry, you would just either create a blog entry, a new one, and provide the header image link here, or you can make a put request to an existing blog entry that belongs to your user with the JWT. This will be checked, and then give him the header image and give him just the file name from this upload here where it lays, and then this will be added and you can just download this and display it in your front end. So normally in Angular you would have like a form, then you would upload this image, and then in the form you would replace the header image with this link, and then you can just say save and everything would be done. Let's have a short look at our story first. So here we are in video 24, upload and download image for blog entry. And the story is, as a technical lead, the API should provide an endpoint to upload an image for a blog entry. The image should not be attached to something, so you have to make another update or create request to the blog entries to add the image to a blog entry. So the idea behind this is that with this update or with this post endpoint here, I will just upload the image, and then as return I get back like the path or the name of the image where it lays. And then I can make like a create request to a blog entry and add this to the profile image, this link that I got here from the upload. Or I can make, if I already have a blog entry without an image or without a header image, I can just give this update request to blog entries this link for the header image, and then I can save this image to this, because we are just storing the link to the image in the database, and so we can do it like this. Our acceptance criteria are: we have a new endpoint to upload an image for blog entry, a new image to download an image for blog entry, so to display it for later in our front end. We want to save our image to the file system, and we want to add the request to the Postman collection. So we can move this to doing. So now you can see that if I type in git status, you see we are on branch develop and everything is clean, so there are no changes or anything. So we can go to our feature branch to start developing, and so we can just say git-flow feature start video 24, so the same number that we had here in our story. And now you see we have a new branch, video 24, based on develop here. So we can now start by doing what we want to do. So you want to have two requests, and that are very much the same for uploading an image than for our user, because we can, if we look here, we have also an upload file endpoint for uploading an image, and we have one to like download the image, like a post and a get request. And so we can really make this very much the same, just saving the images to a different folder. And what we are doing here is, you can see here we are first uploading this image here to the storage. You see this is our thing, we stored to our disk storage the file, and then we have our file name. From what we upload, we add a unique ID here, and then we add the extension, so for example .png or .jpg, and then we save this and return this. And what we then are doing here, then we update our user with the profile image and with like the file name. And so this is not what we want to do now. We want to do here the same. So we want to save this image in our file system, but then we don't want to update a profile or a blog entry immediately. So this is like done in a second request. Then we would do in our blog controller a new endpoint for uploading an image. Then we get in return in our front and back the link where this image is stored. And then we can make just another update request where we provide in our blog entry, in the type, you see it here, the header image, just the link. And then we have it stored. So we can, to make it a little bit easier for us, we can just go copy and paste this here. And then go through it to understand what is happening here. First we can import everything. This is something we need to do. I will explain this later when I update it here everything, so we don't need this. We can just say the moment return, and let's say off. And then we don't have any errors, and so now we can check what we want to do. So if we go into the documentation, we have here something from Nest.js about file upload. And Nest provides a built-in module based on Malta middleware, and Malta is something for Express.js, where we add a body object and a file to our request object. And so we can like upload or download, for example, data. You can see it here, and you can just go through it. And you can also see here, this is the thing that we are doing. So with Malta you can write to your disk storage, you can give it a destination, so in which folder it should be saved, how the file name should be. You can ask for memory storage, limit, everything. So here are all things that we have from Malta. And you can see here Malta handles data posted in multi-part form data. You remember our request in Postman, or where we upload a profile image, so we have to add it as form data, our post request. We will do this later. And then we can upload files. And so the basic example is here, for example, we are going for post request to the upload route. We use our file interceptor from nest.js. And then we are looking for something called file in our form data here, in our form data. And then this is just saved. So now we can go through our code and check what it's doing. So you see now we are here in our block controller, and we need our storage object. So I made this the last time, and this is a bit different for our block entries. So we need the disk storage. We can make the imports here. And what this does is, if we are here and we are uploading a file with this, when it's looking for a file, if we go into Postman, it's looking for multi-part form data. You can just make like an example so you get it, you see it better. So if we go for HTTP, localhost, block entries, image upload, then at first we will have to add here a Bira token. That's valid. And then on our body we go for form data, and then we give it a key, how it's named, and this would be file. And then this is also of type file, and then we can upload here an image. So this file here is the name that is here. And then it does something with it. this is here. So for the storage, we go into this. And then it saves to our disk storage. And we say in which folder do we want to store it. So we don't want to go in profile images. We could go, for example, go for BlogEntry images. And as you remember, here in Malta it said somewhere, I saw it, I think. Yeah, you see it here. When passing a string, Malta will make sure that the directory is created for you. So we pass it here as a string, and then it checks if we try to store something in here. Is it existing here, this folder, in our uploads? You see, it should be here. You see we have there just one folder, profile images, and then it will check is there a folder BlogEntry images. If not, it will create it. And then we go for file name, and for this we use the normal path module from Node, and then we can go for file original name and replace at first every white space that there is, or remove it, and then we add a unique ID so that in this folder every file or every image has a unique name, and then we get the extension. So for example, if it's abc.png, the extension would be the PNG, so everything behind the dot. And then as a callback, we return our file name .extension, so that it's a valid image, for example, again. So what we then would like to return here is just our file. So we go just for file, and we use off to make it an observable, because if we just return file, I think it should make an error. Whatever. So we return it. And then we are using this file that's uploaded here. And we can also make, let's just try this. And now we can upload our image. For example, we upload this smiley, and you see this is called download.jpg. And of course, this is a post request. API block entries image upload. Why not? Not found. Yeah, so just upload, but we want to have it like image upload, then this should be found. And we can just make this request again, and then you see we are getting returned this complete object with our field name. You see our original name was download.jpg, and then you can see here we split this up, and file name would be download, extension would be JPEG. And then it added to the file name the unique ID with UUID, and this is the unique ID here. And then it added the extension again to the file name. And so what we can do also in our code, at the moment we are just saying the return is of type object, but we could also go into our models and make another file and could say image.interface.ts and could say export interface image, and then copy and paste this stuff here. And then this would be file name. Let's make it a bit faster. And could make a interface from this, so we can provide this later. So we can say this here is all of type string, and can copy and paste. 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 paste, paste, and this is of course from type number. And then we could switch this object here to our image, to this here. And then you see we uploaded this. And so now we want another GET request. And as was in the wrong, so we go for block, and here it should be image. Observable image. Yeah, so this works. And then we want to make our GET request so that we are able to display an image, and we can also use this here from our user controller. And then we are not going for profile image, but we could go just for image, then the image name. And so we are making a GET request to image and then to our parameter image name. This is, can we just call find image. Then we have here our parameter image name. And we have a response object from nest.js. And this could be, this is just an object. And what we are doing here then is we return our file and we join the path, so current working directory, with the path where the images from our for our blog entries are stored. And so this is not profile images, but this is the same like here, like blog entry images. So we can copy paste this, or we can make later cons from this. And then we add the image name. So we could now go, if we upload this image here, we could make another GET request. Let's say here to image. And then you see we have image here, and then we have as a parameter the image name. So what we can provide here is now the image name that from the file that we uploaded before, and just give it here as a parameter. And then you see we get returned this image. So this would be all for this story. We can now name this request, and we can save this and say, let's start by making it a bit more style the request names better, because it's getting like now 19 requests when we added these two, and this is quite, you have to order them like something. So this is blog entry, and then let's say upload image, and this goes to our collection YouTube blog. And I think we can create here a new folder, and let's say this is our blog entry. And then we go into it and we say upload image. And we save this also, and we say blog entry download image. Save it to here. And then we can just rename them here a bit. So we say all the blog entries are going to this folder. Yeah, this is quite a lot. So, and these are all about user, so we can make here another folder, and let's say user entity, and so we move them all in here. Yeah. And then we have to make them all a bit nicer looking, but this is something for another time. So now we can just save them or export it. So we export it as always. So we save them for our collection, we override it, then we have them stored. And now we can just go into here, we say git add -a, git commit, and let's say video24, edit, upload and download for images for our blog entity, blog entries entity. Then we can say git push, and we can say git flow feature finish and merge this back into our develop branch. And while this is doing this, we can check our story. What we have done is we have a new endpoint for uploading an image for our blog entry. This is done. We have a new endpoint to download an image for our blog entry, and we can save the image to our file system. And of course we have added the request to our Postman collection, and so we can move this to done. And now we can push our develop branch. So you see now we've closed our branch feature 24 and merged it back into our develop branch, and now we pushed our develop branch.